Moxley and Omega, Moxley and Omega, Moxley and Omega. Welcome, folks, here to the Attitude Podcast. Today is Thursday, June 13th. And obviously, as you can tell by the video title and the thumbnail, there has been some big news, a match that we expected to happen, but as it has been announced, it just feels even better to hear it. Jon Moxley, former Dean Ambrose of WWE, who made his debut at All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing pay-per-view event, will be going up against the best bout machine, Kenny Omega, at All Elite Wrestling's All Out events, August 31st. And let's get right into the news story here. All the news I have for you guys in today's podcast episode is brought to you by WrestlingInc.com, one of the best wrestling news sites in the world. That's why I use them for my news. Thank you guys over to WrestlingInc.com. All credit goes to them. AEW officially announced today that Jon Moxley will take on Kenny Omega at the All Out pay-per-view event on August 31st at the Sears Center outside of Chicago. Moxley made his surprise debut with AEW at the Double or Nothing event on May 25th and closed out the show by hitting his old Dirty Deeds finisher on Omega at the top of the entrance ramp. Shortly after his appearance, AEW confirmed that Moxley had signed a multi-year deal with the company. The man formerly known as Dean Ambrose had left the WWE less than a month prior. Since that night, Moxley has wrestled twice for New Japan Pro Wrestling, winning the IWGP United States Championship from Juice Robinson. He'll make his in-ring debut for All Elite Wrestling at the Fyter Fest event on June 29th against Joey Janela. Let's talk about that really quick. He's making his debut against Joey Janela. One thing I do have to say, I do not believe Jon Moxley will lose for two reasons. One, you really don't want the man losing his first match in All Elite Wrestling. Two, he has the IWGP United States Championship. You can't make the champ lose, especially New Japan is very, very strict about that, very particular about that. Tickets for All Out are set to go on sale tomorrow, noon Eastern. The show's previously incarnation from 2018, All In, famously sold out in just 29 minutes. The only other match that has been announced for All Out thus far is Adam Hangman Page versus Chris Jericho to crown the first AEW World Champion. Big news here. All Elite Wrestling building a huge card for a big show. Man, I can't wait to see what's next for this company. October cannot get here soon enough. We'll have some competition every week for professional wrestling. It doesn't get any bigger than this, folks. Leave your, right now, if you're thinking about it, leave your comments what you think about that right there. Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega. We're going to get into some more news here. It was noted that this Monday on Monday Night Raw, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Kevin Dunn were all absent from this week's WWE Raw and SmackDown TV tapings in California, according to the Wrestler Observer newsletter. This may be a first that all four top officials were not present. Stephanie is not a regular at TV these days and only comes when she is needed, which hasn't been the case as of late. Triple H decided to make the trip to Florida since there were back-to-back days of WWE NXT TV tapings at Full Sail University. I'll talk about that more later on. There were some big things that went on there. No spoilers. I don't read the spoilers myself, but there was a tournament announced for NXT. We'll talk about that. Triple H felt that he needed to be in Florida for the NXT TakeOver Toronto build to help get everything ready. Vince McMahon was not there because he had some corporate items that he felt he needed to take care of, and Kevin Dunn doesn't come to TV tapings when Vince isn't there. Well, alright then. Probably why there wasn't 1,000 camera cuts that I didn't notice from SmackDown and Raw. WWE head writer Ed Koskey was said to be running around like crazy at Monday's Raw and kind of in control, it was said. It's also been noted here with Lacey Evans that Dana Warrior, who recently started working with the WWE creative team, was also there. She worked hands-on with Lacey Evans. There's no word if Evans is a project of Warrior's, but Warrior works heavily with Evans on her promos. This is something that I haven't heard of before. This might be new, but I'm not really sure how I even feel about Dana Warrior being on the creative team in the backstage. So I feel like it's just Vince. He's just throwing a boner. I'll talk about Batista's interview later on, but like Batista said, there's a lot of people that haven't stepped foot in a professional wrestling ring on the main roster side of things that are making matches and that are writing, and it doesn't make any sense. I like Lacey Evans as a character. I think if you give her a little bit more control, take the reins off a little bit, she could do a lot more with that character. I see she puts a lot of time and effort into the character. So who knows? But that's just me being particular. A match that I praised heavily yesterday on my 205 Live review. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out in the archives. On this week's 205 Live, Chad Gable made his debut against Gentleman Jack Gallagher. A surprise by General Manager Drake Maverick. Gable was originally a member of SmackDown following the Superstar shakeup, but we never saw him. The match ended with Gable defeating Gallagher by countout. Considered a top match for the show. The countout finish seemed to have come from nowhere. It appears that wasn't the planned ending when the match was put together. This is when things started getting interesting. I thought it was just they were prolonging the feud. According to the Wrestler Observer newsletter, the referee was not supposed to count the wrestlers out. At the end of the match, Gable attempted to hit a German suplex on Gallagher, who was attempting a mid-air tope. Gallagher landed on his face and was supposed to jump into the ring at the count of 9. Waiting until the last second, Gallagher got caught right as Mike Chioda called the 10 count. The referee treated it as if it was a shoot, since Gallagher did not beat the count. That's very interesting there. I'm not sure if Gallagher got in trouble. I know they were probably just afraid for his well-being. He did fall on his face, and it could have been worse than what anybody is leading on. But honestly, man, I really hope Gallagher's okay. Maybe I don't know. Maybe things will get better for him. I know he's working double with NXT UK and 205 Live and the Indies. He has one of those special contracts that many superstars on the lower brands do have, so we'll see. More AEW news. The SoCal Uncensored versus Oriental Wrestling Entertainment feud will continue at AEW Fyter Fest as Christopher Daniels battles Shima in a singles match. After SoCal Uncensored, Daniel, Scorpio Sky, and Frankie Kazarian made the trip to China for an OWE event in early May. The two groups then opened AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view with a 6-man match that saw SoCal Uncensored defeat Shima, T-Hawk, and L. Lindemann. Shima, who also serves as president in OWE, signed a full-time contract with AEW earlier this year. Fyter Fest from AEW and CEO Gaming will take place on Saturday, June 29th from Daytona Beach, Florida. It will air for free on Bleacher Report Live, and we're going to read the current card to you guys right now. It will be a hardcore match between Jabali versus Michael Nakazawa. The Elite, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix, Pentagon Jr., and a mystery partner. Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin. Jon Moxley's AEW in-ring debut, as we discussed, versus Joey Janela. Hangman Adam Page versus MJF versus Jungle Boy versus Jimmy Havoc. Nyla Rose versus Riho versus Yuka Sakazaki. And Christopher Daniels, as we discussed, versus Shima. Sounds like a great card so far. It seems like they're trying to get a lot of these guys that are unknown to the AEW or professional wrestling world, some exposure. I think guys like MJF and Jimmy Havoc are great future talents. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Future talents for AEW, and they can go a long way. This was very interesting right here. This is something I like the idea of a lot. Last night's WWE NXT TV tapings, the first round, the next round of TV tapings is tonight at Full Sail. From Full Sail University saw the beginning of an 8-man NXT breakout tournament take place. So, obviously, you guys know if NXT has been, cleaning up the indies. They've got a lot of the indie talent. Man, and it feels like a lot of those guys are just stuck on the live event circuit. So they're doing something to get these guys on TV and not just keep them in the back or just keep them in Florida, at the Performance Center every day training. It's better than WWE just calling a whole bunch of guys up to the main roster and just saying, all right, when we get something for you, we get something for you. Like, no, this makes actual sense. The tournament features NXT superstars who haven't made their official TV debuts yet. The winner will receive a future NXT title shot of their choosing. Most likely, I'm guessing, the North American Championship. NXT General Manager William Regal announced the following superstars for the tournament. Angel Garza, formerly known as Garza Jr., Joaquin Wilde, formerly known as DJZ, Cameron Grimes, formerly known as Trevor Lee, Isaiah Swerve Scott, formerly known as Shane Strickland, Boa, Jordan Miles, formerly known as ACH, Dexter Loomis, formerly known as Samuel Shaw, and Bronson Reed, formerly known as Jonah Rock. I think Jonah Rock is actually managed by, what's his name? Dang, what's his name? I can't. Is it Stokely? No, his first name is Stokely. You guys know I'm talking about, the manager. He was in Ring of Honor for a while. Great talent. I've been loving this stuff. I've been seeing from him on Twitter with the CD player. But this is a great thing that you can have, something that gives you to look forward to every week on NXT television. It's great to see. It's so great to see. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to review it for you guys. The first round of the tournament will likely begin airing on Wednesday, June 26th on the WWE Network. Regal's announcement should air next Wednesday. The following first round matches will take place: Jordan Miles versus Boa, Isaiah Scott versus Cameron Grimes, Bronson Reed versus Dexter Loomis, and Angel Garza versus Joaquin Wilde. The winner of Wilde versus Garza will face the winner of Reed versus Loomis in the second round, while the winner of Miles versus Boa will face the winner of Grimes versus Scott. This is now main roster news, and not very surprising. Plenty of seats are still available for the first ever WWE Stomping Grounds pay-per-view, according to Ticketmaster. As of this writing, tickets are still available at 27, 37, 57, 77, 92, 152, 227, 352, 502, and $652. There are just a handful of the 502 seats left and just 2 of the $652 seats left. Regarding low interest for the pay-per-view, 2 common themes on social media are how fans are saying they wouldn't want to dish out top dollar for matches they could see on TV, or a card full of rematches, and how nothing on Raw or SmackDown excites them enough to want to attend a pay-per-view right now. Wow! It's about time. WWE's gonna start noticing, like, oh shit, we gotta book some better stuff, because ticket sales are dropping, guys. Here's the current card for Stomping Grounds, and looking at this, there's only one match that excites me. There's a steel cage match for the WWE Championship, Dolph Ziggler vs. Kofi Kingston. Nobody cares. Universal Championship match, Baron Corbin vs. Seth Rollins. Rollins can have a good match with a broomstick. Raw Women's title match, Lacey Evans vs. Becky Lynch. Why? SmackDown Women's title match, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Kill the wild card. Triple threat match for the Cruiserweight Championship, the match I actually look forward to. Akira Tozawa versus Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese. I remember, if you guys heard me talk about 205 Live yesterday, I thought that it would just be Akira versus Gulak on 205 Live next week, and then we'll move on to hopefully Gulak versus Nese at Stomping Grounds. But they're going to do a triple threat. I love the idea. Maybe Gulak wins by defeating Tozawa, not making Nese look weak in the match. But that's going to steal the show, and they're probably going to throw on the pre-show. Because, yeah, WWE. SmackDown's ratings tanked a little bit this week. Featuring Super Showdown Fallout with a 6-man main event that saw the New Day defeat Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Dolph Ziggler, drew only 930 million viewers, according to Showbuzz Daily. This is down 4.2% from last week's 16 million viewers from the Super Showdown's Go Home episode. Yeah, WWE, you gotta realize that your way isn't working right now. It isn't. Triple H will return to the ring on Friday, June 28th at the WWE Live event in Tokyo, Japan from Sumo Hall. The game will team with Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles of the Bullet Club to face Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and WWE United States Champion Samoa Joe in 8-man action. It's going to be this is going to be a great card if you guys look at it. Universal Champion Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. I wouldn't mind seeing that feud. The Iconics versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. So you're gonna tell me that like now you're gonna bring them out because of Tokyo. The Champs, The Revival versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, and then obviously the Bullet Club plus Triple H match. Strowman versus Robert Roode, and I hope this isn't true, even though it is only 2 weeks away. But I'm tired of seeing this feud. Cesaro versus Ricochet. All right, so the night after that, we get the Universal Champ Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, and Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley in the main event. Becky Lynch versus Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. The Tag Team Champs, The Revival versus Ryder and Hawkins versus Gallows and Anderson. Nakamura versus Robert Roode, no NXT feud there. And Cesaro versus Ricochet. Appearances by Samoa Joe, Kairi Sane, and the Iconics. Batista, the interview I alluded to earlier, went out against WWE Creative. It's basically saying the same thing that Moxley said, but it was more of a different perspective. He says, the creative process he still doesn't get. It was a nightmare to me the last time he was there, which was 2014, and it seems like it has become worse. I feel like they don't have a clear vision, a long-term vision. Everything is week to week. It doesn't seem like they stick to a plan very much. He says the issues run much deeper than the current creative, but Batista feels that the talent is too restricted and does not have creative freedom, which can stunt the growth of talents. If you have Batista saying this, the guy from Ruthless Aggression era, like, damn, you guys gotta. I could go on for about an hour about how I feel about creative. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be that guy and just bury creative for an hour. I'm not. WWE Hall of Famers Shawn X-Pac Waltman and Road Dogg I forgot what his name is. Recently got together for a discussion on Waltman's X-Pac 12360 podcast. Regarding Road Dogg's new role with WWE NXT, he said he gets a relationship and a camaraderie that he missed. Sorry, I'm effing up. That he missed as the lead writer of SmackDown. He said, for me to get to work with the guys and build a relationship with them and have that camaraderie, because it is something I miss as lead writer of SmackDown. For SmackDown, I wouldn't even go out there and do rehearsals anymore. I very rarely talk to the talent because I was just in the writer's room or in with Vince going over the show or whatever we were doing. I was kind of isolated away on the creative side of the railroad tracks, so this is a disconnect. And then the talent calls me on a Wednesday when I'm going and prepping for a meeting to go in to pitch a show or whatever. He then went on to praise the formula that has been used to build the NXT TakeOver events. James pointed to the recent NXT TakeOver 25 event and said that proved these specials don't need to piggyback onto another larger event like a WWE pay-per-view. He said, what I love so much about it is, and I think it's part of the formula that people like is, look, there's 5 matches, James said. You go to a live event, you can probably get 6 or 8 matches, but you tune in for TakeOver, you get 5 matches, 6 tops. And all the titles are on the line, and it's not every month, so the titles and the story build a little longer. Revenue is great for the TakeOvers, and this last one proved that it doesn't necessarily have to coattail or piggyback a bigger event, so it stood on its own in a town that we don't run a whole bunch anymore, and so it did really well. James is also working at the WWE Performance Center under the new NXT gig. He said there is no official job title for him at the Performance Center yet, and that the job is still evolving. He said the job here is not etched in stone, and it's kind of still evolving. He said, you, being X-Pac, were there with me yesterday when we worked all day on entrances, and I'm not great at the technical wrestling crap, but I'm pretty good at the television aspect of what we do. So Road Dogg basically saying, dude, it's a lot more fun to work for NXT. And I think we kind of knew that already. I think we kind of figured that one out. Oh, boy. Well, folks, that's all I got for you today with the Attitude Podcast. I'll be back Sunday with Kizuna Road, Day 1, for television at least. Day 1. Reviewing some New Japan, which will refresh me from what I just watched with SmackDown and Raw this week. Alright, guys. So great talking to you. Hopefully I'll see some likes, some comments, and some new subscribers. I'm out. Peace.